Good afternoon. This is Vicki coming to you from Life Begins at 80. Today I'm just a little bit out of the mood to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway as a public service announcement. I feel that I have an obligation to everyone to warn them about scammers. So today's episode is called No Fool Like an Old Fool, which is how I feel all the time about being somebody who was scammed. I did not think this could happen to me or my husband. I thought we were too smart. We had read about these scams. We had studied everything we could about scams. We knew what to look for. This would never happen to us. But guess what? It did. It really did, big time. We were scammed out of a lot of money. And it all happened before we even knew what was going on. The money was taken from the bank before we even knew it was gone. And I kid you not, the bank had no kind of security measure against this. They did not help us in any way. The FBI did not help. We called every agency we could find to get help, but our money was taken and it was gone. They just told us, well, your money's in China now. We can't get it. We have to be able to get the money back in order for us to return it to you, and we can't go to China and get it, so you're just out of luck. Well, I did not find this very comforting, but there was nothing I could do. It was a terribly upsetting experience. So I'm entitling this episode as No Fool Like an Old Fool, which is how I feel. I just feel like a fool. But I feel like I should also warn people about what can happen and maybe give you a couple of hints on how to prevent this if possible. One thing that everyone should be aware of is do not keep large amounts of money in a checking account. If you have a large amount of money in the bank, put it in a savings account or invest it with your financial planner or do whatever you have to do, but don't keep it in a checking account. This is a mistake that we made. We put a lot of money in a checking account, which was stupid, and we did not know any better. And for us, the two smartest people in the room to do this, anybody could do it. So don't do that. Don't let our mistake happen to you, because for some reason it's very easy to get money out of a checking account, but it's not easy to get it out of a savings account. And this started very innocently. One day I was not at home. My husband was here on the computer and it stopped working. A sign came up on our computer that said, your McAfee security needs to be renewed. Well, we didn't even have McAfee security. Now I knew this, but my husband did not. So he paid for McAfee security to be renewed, and it was to the tune of $399, which is not that big of a deal, actually. And he gave him our credit card information, and that was very harmful because that opened the door for them to get in. When I came home, he told me what he had done, and I thought, uh-oh, we're going to have repercussions from this. And about 2 weeks later, we definitely did. One day, I turned on the computer, and all I saw was a jumble of what looked like pipes all over the screen, and a sign on the screen that said, whatever you do, do not turn off your computer. Well, that should have been my first clue. If you ever see a sign like that that says, do not turn off your computer, turn your computer off. Unplug it from the wall, because that will disconnect their ability to scam you at that time. That'll make your computer go back to normal, and the scam will disappear. But we didn't know that. So I'm looking at that, and I see this, and it says, do not turn off your computer. So I thought, okay, I won't. And then we started getting phone calls. They even had our phone numbers on our cell phones, our landline, from people who sounded very threatening. who told us that we would be killed if we did not cooperate with them. Our children would be killed. They knew where we lived. They knew where our children lived. And they would not hesitate to kill us if we did not cooperate with them. They don't sound like normal people. They are very menacing, extremely menacing sounding people. And they scared me to death. I'm not afraid to admit I was terrified. I did not know what to do. I called everybody I could think of, but these people just persisted. Nobody could help us. Nobody knew what to do. The FBI didn't even know what to do. So to me, that was pretty telling. And we could get no help. And they proceeded to threaten our lives over and over again, brainwashing. And it was very, very awful. I have never been through anything like that in my life. I was afraid to open up the blinds in my house. That's how scared I was. I thought they were standing right outside my house. I was so scared. And I'm smart. I'm not a stupid person, and I don't have dementia, I don't think. Maybe I do, but I don't think so. But I was afraid to even look outside for fear that the whole Chinese army was standing out there with guns pointed directly at my house. And it was a very, very bad experience. So I learned, do not keep money in a checking account, a large amount of money in a checking account. The next thing I learned is don't fall for these stupid messages that say, do not turn off your computer. Anytime I see a sign like that now, the first thing I do is turn off my computer, because no good's going to come from anyone telling you not to turn off your computer. Turn it off, unplug it from the wall, and everything will go back to normal. Scammers hate when you unplug things. These people started calling me. One time I did. I unplugged and I got phone calls you wouldn't believe. They lit up the phones, absolutely lit up the phones with threats and telling us the horrible things that were going to happen to us. It was a nightmare, and it went on and on. And finally, I just unplugged things for good, refused to replug them, left everything off for several days. And that was the only way these people ever went away. And I know now, well, my bank account's much lighter, but that's all right. We're okay. We can still eat. We can still pay for our house. We still have a life. We didn't suffer that much. We're all right. We're all right. Even though it was a large amount of money that was taken, we're okay. We feel like idiots. We're sad, but we are okay. So I'm grateful for that. I've gotten over this for the most part, but in the middle of the night, for some reason, it just woke me up. I started thinking about it, and it was very scary. Once again, it all came flooding back in the middle of the night, and I didn't sleep well. So here I am today, not feeling all that great, but I did feel an obligation to let people know what happened. I didn't want to tell anybody before because I was so embarrassed that it could happen to us, and I'm still embarrassed. I really am. But I think if it can happen to us, it can happen to anybody, because we were very, very aware of scams and the different forms that they take. So just be careful. Don't buy anything you didn't order. That's one thing. If somebody tries to charge you for something you didn't order, just delete it. They love landlines. When they call you on the landline, just hang up. Just don't have any contact with these people at all. Don't buy what they're selling. Don't listen to them. Don't talk to them. Don't get in a conversation with them, because they will always win in a conversation and you will lose. So I'm warning you, hang up the phone, unplug your computers, do whatever you have to do to have no contact at all with the outside world. And that's the only way to get rid of them. And then they will eventually go away with any luck. So as an old fool, I'm telling you, don't be like me. Don't listen to them. If they threaten to kill you, just hang up, because they're not going to kill you. As somebody pointed out to me, They can't kill you. They don't even know where you are. They're in China. You think they're going to come over here to the United States, to Texas, to kill you? I don't think so. So, but they're really convincing. To fool me, you have to be very convincing, and they were. So take it from one who's been there, and don't think too badly of me for being such an idiot, but I did want to let you know. So, with that said, have a great day, and don't talk to anybody ever. Just ignore everyone and don't speak, except to maybe your family. And I'm not even sure about them. So just be careful and just take this as a warning. So next week we'll be back to our regular happy routine. I hope. So take care of yourselves and we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.